talking about knucklebones, and it's also known as tali or striguli, and it's one of the oldest and most common games in the world. Now, the knucklebone itself comes from the astragalus, and that's a bone in the ankle or the hock of a sheep. I had to look it up, and it actually comes from kind of this back part of the leg here. The astragalus is almost symmetric, and it has four sides in which it can rest. The broad side has a chance of about 38%, and the other side has a chance of about 12% that it would land on. And so you have two sides that are broad and two sides that are kind of this long side. There's an extensive number of talus bones of these hoofed animals that have been found in archaeological excavations dating back to as early as 5000 BC. And the archaeologists have actually found these bones more frequently than any other animal bones, so they've begun to think that they were being used for something. And in addition to probably gaming, they were used as whistles and fortune-telling devices. Knucklebones seem to have been developed independently throughout many cultures in the world, and the game is actually still commonly played today in one form or another. Different variants of the game use all sorts of objects besides the knucklebones of sheep, and that includes stones, seashells, seeds, cubes, and manufactured items. The most common variant of knucklebones is a dexterity-based game that's kind of like jacks, where the pieces are thrown in the air and the player tries to pick up or catch them in some way. Specifically, knucklebones in Europe goes back to the Greek times. Sophocles, in a written fragment of one of his works, ascribed the game to the mythical figure of Palamedes, who supposedly taught it to the Greek countrymen during the Trojan War. And there were two methods of playing in ancient Europe. The first was probably the primitive method consisting of tossing the bones up in the air and catching them on the back of a hand. And that's how it's commonly played in many cultures still today. In ancient Rome, it was called tali, and the simple form of the game was generally only played by women and children, and it specifically was called pentalitha, or five stones. And there were also a number of other variations of the game besides the usual toss and catch. One was called tropa, which was a whole game where kids tried to toss these bones into a hole in the dirt. What's kind of interesting is the striguli were also given as prizes to school children, and throughout excavations in the Roman world, metal striguli have been found. The form that we're talking today is actually a game of pure chance that was used for wagering, and the bones were thrown upon a table, either from a hand or a cup, and the value of the sides upon which they fell were counted, and the shape of the bone determined the manner of counting. When four striguli were used, there were 35 different variants that were possible in a single throw, and each of these variants was given a specific score. Such names of the variants were Aphrodite, Midas, Solon, Alexander, the Vulture, and each was, of course, counted for different points. So let's get into looking at the game a little bit.
So a knucklebone has four surfaces. This first surface that looks like a vulture is worth 6 points. The next surface is this convex one, and it's worth 4 points. The concave one on the other side, you see it's concave, a little dip there, is worth 3 points. And the other one, the dog, which looks a little like actually looks more like a partridge from the partridge family, this is worth 1 point. So when you roll these, you're going to look for sets. Sets are going to be four of any one kind. So the best set is the set of four vultures, and that'll win you the pot. You could get a set of the four concave to win the pot. You could get a set of four convex to win the pot, or you could get a set of dogs to win the pot. When you roll, anytime there's a dog, you're going to put a coin into the pot. And when someone rolls four of a kind, they're going to get what's in the pot at that time. So let's just show you examples of this. Okay, I got a concave, a concave, a concave, and a convex. So that player doesn't have to put anything in. Second player goes, and they are going to get a vulture, a convex, a convex, and a convex. Again, nothing. This time they got a dog. So they would put a coin in the pot. Next person would go. They got a vulture. So nothing. Next person goes. Oh, okay. Oh, that's concave. So hello, cat. Nothing. Next player would go. Nothing. Next player would go. Got a vulture, a convex, a concave, a concave. Oh, they got a dog. So they would put one in the pot for that dog. Okay, so after a number of throws, I have a concave, a concave, a concave, and a concave. And this player would then win the pot. So they won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 septums here, or ducats, for the game. And that's pretty much how you play it. By the way, these Knucklebones are actually 3D printed, and I'm going to put the STL file down below there for you to see if you want to print these out. They're pretty easy to print. These are actually resin printed, but you could also do these on a filament printer. That's pretty much it. Maybe I will come back and do more Knucklebones games. These games are pretty much conjecture. We don't actually know how the actual games were played other than a few small fragmentary notices in Roman literature, but this kind of is so simple that I think it probably would be fairly accurate. Anyway, that's it. Thanks again for watching, and I'll have some more ancient games and how to play them and make the pieces from them in the future. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button. If you have anything you'd like to see me play, go ahead and mention that down below. Thanks a lot, and have a good one. Bye.